How is it going, guys? It is 2-Minute Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series and have learned something that you may have not known before. For example, the fact that the GR86 and BRZ come from the factory with the alarm turned off. If you didn't know that, make sure you go watch that video and learn how to turn it on. But today, we're gonna go over something else that a lot of people probably don't know, which is the batteries that come on these cars require routine maintenance, just like a lot of other parts on the car. It's nothing extensive or difficult, but it is definitely something you're gonna wanna work into your routine maintenance to prolong the life of your battery. We don't need any special tools or anything like that. We just need a 10mm wrench and a bit of distilled water. You can actually do this with the battery still on the car, but it's a lot easier if you just take the battery out, and it's not that hard to take it out. Like I said, we just need a 10mm wrench. Makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing, and it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to show you what I'm talking about. To remove the battery, super easy. Like I said, we just need a 10mm wrench. We're gonna remove the connectors off the terminals. Tuck that down here. And now once those connectors are removed, there's just this bracket holding the battery in place with two of these long rods with a hook on the end, and there's 10mm bolts again. So what we need to do is just loosen the 10mm bolts enough to where there's slack on those rods where we can move the hook out of the holes. We don't actually need to fully remove the nuts. Again, just enough to where we can take the hooks out of the hole and just take this whole bracket assembly out. With all of that out of the way, we can pull the battery out of the car. Highly recommend you put on some gloves so you don't tear your hands up. And it'll probably be a lot easier for you because you won't have an AOS in the way. That makes it a little bit more difficult, but I think I'm gonna pull this plastic sleeve that they have on here out first, just to get it out of the way. And I'll sneak my hands in here and see if we can pull this out. It is a lot heavier than it looks. With the battery out of the car, we can actually take a look on the side of this particular battery because they utilize transparent plastic on the outside so we can see the fluid levels inside, and they have an upper and lower level marked. A lot of batteries are just black on the outside so you can't see anything, and you have to actually remove the vent plugs on top to see the fluid levels. On this battery, if you aren't able to see it well, you can just give it a shake and you'll be able to see that fluid sloshing around inside. And the reason why we want to refill this with water is because the water inside gets broken down into hydrogen and oxygen gases during that charging process as the ions are flowing from plate to plate. And if that water level gets low, that is obviously not ideal. The vent plugs on top here can be pretty tight and difficult to remove with just your fingers. So what I like to do is grab a pair of needle nose pliers and use this to loosen it until I can unscrew it with my fingers. And once we get all of these removed, we can see the levels inside of each individual cell. What we're gonna be looking for once those plugs are removed is that the fluid level is above the plate in each cell. And for this battery in particular, for the GR86 and BRZ, there's actually a sort of tube that extends down into each cell, and we want the fluid level to touch the bottom of the walls of the tube. So if you look in here and the fluid level is completely flat, you'll want to add a bit more fluid until you see a slight curvature due to the surface tension of the fluid touching the walls of the tube. I can't really show you because it's really dark in here, but in person, it's very easy to see the difference between the curvature and just the flat water. I'll try and find a depiction for you guys. But the easiest way to go about this is to utilize a turkey baster. It allows you to very precisely add a certain amount of fluid, and if you happen to overfill, you can just remove the excess. Okay. Now my battery is still pretty new, so I didn't have to add any fluid, but once you're done, we're just gonna go ahead and reinstall these plugs. And then we should be good to reinstall this back into the car. And we're good to go. For those of you that utilize your car as a weekend warrior and you don't drive it around as much as a daily driver, you're gonna wanna pick up some sort of battery charger or tender like this Naco Genius 5 that I use. This ensures that my battery stays fully charged, even though sometimes this car sits for weeks on end. If you guys want to pick up one of these for yourself, the link will be down in the description. But that is going to do it for this week's 2-Minute Tuesday. Now you know how to properly maintain your battery to prolong the lifespan of it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, comment down below. If you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.